Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you've been doing well. Today's video is going to be a review on my vintage Bottega Veneta Hobo. Without further ado, let's just go ahead and get started. I did purchase this off of DCT Vintage in late January, I think. It was either late January or early February, I can't quite remember, but I will link to that video in case you missed it. And I'm definitely super excited about this bag. I've been on kind of a vintage kick lately. I don't really know what it is. It might just be kind of the luxury industry in general, or just kind of the crazy price increases of everything. And not just with luxury, but with inflation and other stuff is just becoming so much more expensive. But this year, I've definitely gravitated a lot more towards vintage bags, and I have to say it's been really fun. So this bag, what I really like about it is how big it is, but it doesn't really seem that big. And I know it probably seems big on camera right now, but I will do mod shots later and you will see that it really doesn't feel like a gigantic bag, but it can fit a ton. And I think part of that is because it does have a pretty slim profile, but because of the hobo nature of it, it can just like really fit a lot. And the other concern I had about this bag before I ordered it was this handle drop doesn't really seem very large, to be honest, and I was kind of nervous that it wouldn't fit over my shoulder. And for me, I'm definitely a shoulder bag kind of gal. Like, I love bags that fit over my shoulder. I do love crossbody bags too, but I would generally say there's something about putting a bag, especially if it's a larger bag, on my shoulder that just feels much more comfortable for me personally. So I was a little concerned before I ordered this that it wouldn't fit over my shoulder, but the good news is it does, so that is great. And I feel like this bag is in overall really, really good condition. There's a little bit of wear and tear, but honestly nothing crazy at all. And it also very much resembles the new Hop bag that I think Bottega came out with pretty recently. Like, the only difference is I think the opening of that bag is a little bit more open, or it might have a magnetic closure, I'm not quite sure, but this one has a zipper closure right here. And other than that, they look pretty similar. Like, if someone was carrying either this bag or the Hop bag from far away, I probably wouldn't be able to tell which bag it was until I saw it more close up. And yeah, I just feel like it is a wonderful bag. It has that classic Bottega Veneta weaving and no branding other than that whatsoever. The edges of the bag are lined with this weaving right here as well. That kind of gives it a little bit more texture and just a little bit more grip, which is really nice. So you can see like this part comes all the way down this way, and then it kind of lines the entire bag. So it goes all the way down here and then over this side and up this way too. And I just feel like that detail is so nice. And the bag just has one zipper for an opening and closing, and that's great because it's very secure, and the zipper is also very smooth, which is nice. And the inside is lined in this kind of beige material right there, and you can see the inside right there. Sorry, the handle's kind of getting in the way, but it's a fairly clean interior. There might be like one or two spots here or there. There's a flat pocket here, which I think was probably for old cell phones back in the day. And then the other side does have a zip pocket closure right here for anything you want to keep a little bit more secure too. So that is nice. And I'll just bring it up so you can see, but the tag does say Bottega Veneta, and that is embossed in there, and it does say made in Italy. So I would say those are the generic features of the bag. Pretty simple, just one strap, one zipper, hobo style bag, no bells and whistles. The thing about this bag that I have to say I'm most impressed by is that it can actually fit a laptop. So let me show you guys. Here I have my 13-inch MacBook Air. So it is the thinner one, and it's pretty thin as you can see, but it totally fits. You do have to angle it in kind of like sideways, but you can get a laptop to fit in here. Isn't that crazy? I can't believe it, to be honest. So if you wanted to use this as a work bag, you totally could. But because the MacBook Air is on the thinner side, there's still space to put your wallet and other things too. So let me just show you guys. Here I have my wallet, my mini pochette, and that fits great. It can also fit a full-size water bottle. This is 700 milliliters or 23.6 ounces. And that fits as well. I would say at this point, it is definitely starting to get a little bit heavy, but I do feel like the strap is very secure because it's so thick that it would be heavy, but I don't feel like the structure of the bag is in any danger if you were to carry it this way. I'm just really impressed with how much this bag can carry. So let me try to do some measurements really quickly. From side to side, it's about 17 inches across. From top to bottom, it's about 12 inches. And then the handle drop, it's kind of hard to measure the handle drop just because when the bag has stuff in it, it becomes heavier and it does come down a little bit more so that there is more space. So on one hand, if I were just to measure it like this, it's only 5 inches, but that's kind of deceptive because if you were to hold up the bag and it has stuff in it, it definitely goes down to about 8 or 9 inches. And that's just because of the weight of the bag. Once there's stuff in it, it just comes down a little bit more and there's more space for the arm drop. But like I said, that's just because when you do have more stuff in the bag, the weight of the bag comes down and then the handle gets a little bit longer. So I have to say, as far as pros and cons, I really don't have any cons for this bag. I love that it can fit so much and it's still so comfortable to carry. Obviously, if you have your laptop and a bunch of other things in there, it's definitely going to get heavy. But just the fact that it has the capacity for that, I think is kind of amazing. And especially living in San Francisco, I feel like most of the time it's very sunny and also windy here, which means I like to carry at least a hat and sunglasses and a scarf if I'm going to be out in the evening, because it will get cold pretty much no matter what month it is. So a lot of times it's been great where I can take this bag and it can still hold my wallet and my mini pochette and all that stuff, on top of being able to stuff a scarf in there at the very top and everything still fits. And so just the capacity, I have to say, I love. If I had to think of maybe one con, and I feel like this is just dependent on the bag, is while I do really love this color, I don't wear brown that much. I obviously specifically chose this bag because of this color and I fell in love with this color, but I noticed that DCT Vintage and a few other places have this bag in like a lighter colorway, and I'm actually kind of tempted to get another one because I just love this style so much that I really feel like a lighter bag I would definitely get a lot of wear out of. And then the other thing is, I feel like for pros, like if you are interested in this kind of style from Bottega Veneta, I would highly go vintage and pre-loved because this is so similar to the hot bag. If you were to see both bags from far away, you would really not be able to tell the difference because they're just so similar. And so I just feel like the retail price for the hot bag, like why pay that if you can go the vintage route and get this for $1,000 or less? Like to me, it doesn't make any sense. Like I wouldn't pay retail for the hot bag when I can get this vintage style that's virtually the same for $1,000 or less. So that's just kind of my 2 cents on it. I would say generally the style I'm a huge fan of. And then maybe one last con, and this is like I'm reaching here, but this is just kind of like the style of the bag, and no matter what kind of bag you get that's kind of like this, it's going to be a con with all these style bags. It's just with the larger Hobo bags that are not super structured, your stuff is just going to get lost, and it is going to feel a little bit like a black hole, and you're going to have to like dig for things that might be at the very bottom. Like if my keys fall all the way to the bottom and I have a scarf on top, you know, I am going to have to kind of dig for that. But I feel like that's not necessarily a con of this bag in particular. That's just kind of like the general style of the bag. So I would say just be aware of that. But other than that, I have to say I really have enjoyed using this bag so far. I would say I've used it a fair amount since January. And you guys know too, if you follow me on Instagram, that I've been posting more back in the day mod shots. And so you can kind of get an idea of the bags that I'm using, how they look on my frame, and also what kind of outfits I'm styling them with. I would say generally my uniform is a pair of wide leg jeans, some sneakers, a t-shirt, and a leather jacket. And obviously there are other times when I do dress up. So I have to say I'm a huge fan of this bag. Highly, highly recommend. If you were on the fence at all about getting a Bottega Veneta Hobo bag, I would highly recommend it. Definitely let me know if you have specific questions that I didn't get to answer in this video, because I'd be more than happy to answer them for you. But I have to say I'm just a huge fan of this bag, and I just love the vibes. I love everything about it. I love the color. I love it so much that I do want to get another color, so we'll see if that happens. The other thing I will say about the lighter colors is that I've hesitated a little bit because I think the lighter colors will make the bag look bigger, which isn't necessarily bad, but I do feel like one nice thing about this particular color or the black colorway is that it does make the bag a little bit more slimming, just because darker colors are a little bit more slimming. So I would have to try on a lighter colored one in person just to see if it looked okay on me. And the other thing about carrying a larger bag that's lighter in color too is there's just more room for color transfer or for a stain to show up or something like that. So the darker color is nice because I feel like it hides any sort of dirt and stains or general wear and tear a little bit better. So keep that in mind. But again, that is more to do with general shopping and colors rather than the bag itself. Yeah, I think that's about it for this video. So definitely let me know if you have any questions or comments, and I will do my best to respond. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you would also subscribe to my channel, I would really, really appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.